The film begins with a photographer taking photos of students who are about to graduate while they reminisce about their good times at school. This is where we meet a young man named Matthew, a very intelligent boy who has won several knowledge awards. Later we meet two of Matthew's friends named Sela and Sis. These three are discussing the big graduation party when a boy gives a speech about how the celebration will be crazy. While everyone cheers, the director hands the microphone to Matthew, since he is the class president, to share some important news. He begins by announcing that they raised enough money to provide a scholarship to a very intelligent child from another country who will soon attend their school. Returning home, Matthew notices a new car in the house next door. He enters his house and tells his parents that he will be working on a speech because he is determined to win a scholarship, and they congratulate him. At night, he goes out to throw away the garbage and notices his new neighbor named Danielle, who looks at him flirtatiously, making him nervous. He calls his friend Eli to tell him about the girl, and Eli advises him to take the initiative and try to win her over. At this moment, the girl begins changing clothes with her window open, and the boy is shocked by how beautiful she is. He quickly hangs up on his friend, and the young woman realizes he is looking at her. Matthew quickly hides, but Danielle goes to his home and talks to his parents, who call him down. The young man comes down frightened but realizes that the girl didn't tell them anything about him spying on her. Instead, she said she was alone in the city and didn't know anyone. So the father tells Matthew that he should accompany her to see some places. After a while, we see the two of them in the car. The girl stops, and Matthew apologizes for what he did, but she tells him that since he already saw her, now it's her turn to see him. The boy has no other option but to comply, and she leaves him with nothing in the middle of the street before speeding away with Matthew's clothes. Shortly after, she returns for him and laughs at what she did, then takes him for coffee while they talk. This is where she realizes he is a nerd who has never had a girlfriend or any interesting adventures. Later, they return home where the boy, not knowing what to say, simply says goodbye and gets out of the car. The next day, he talks to his friends about what happened, and they tell him he's a fool since they would have conquered her and done risky things with her in his place. When they are in class, Matthew sees that Danielle arrives and invites him to leave the room with her, so he goes with her. During the following days, we see them having good times together, while Matthew begins to fall in love with the girl. One day, Danielle realizes that the boy is very intelligent and does good things for other people, so she invites him out. Shortly after, we see them arrive at a house where they get into the pool, but the boy realizes it's his director's house and wants to leave. The girl calms him down, and they leave slowly. Then they go to one of his friend's houses, and they can't believe how pretty Matthew's friend is. They all go to a party they weren't invited to, and one of the students quickly becomes interested in the girl, so another student gets rid of Matthew. After reflecting, he gathers his courage and goes to kiss her in front of everyone. The next day, Matthew arrives at school feeling confident, but his friend takes him to watch an adult film where he realizes that the actress is Danielle. He leaves disappointed. When he returns home, he sees the girl with her parents, and because of what he saw before, he imagines all kinds of risk things about her. So he just screams while the others don't know what's happening, asking the girl if she is okay. Although the boy still thinks the same about her, that night he follows his friend Eli's advice, takes her for a walk, and takes her to a motel. Before anything happens, the boy asks her why she does it, and Danielle realizes he knows everything. The boy gets upset trying to explain, but she tells him she won't sleep with anyone in a cheap motel because it's her job, and leaves alone. Matthew feels bad about what happened, so he decides to go to the girl's house and confesses his love for her. At the same time, a man named Kelly appears, so the girl tells our protagonist that they will talk later. The boy comes out, and Kelly too. They both introduce themselves, and the girl comes out while the man invites them to accompany them. Danielle doesn't want the boy to leave, but Matthew tells them yes. After a while, we see them enter a place where many dancers work. Danielle can't stand Matthew being there, so she leaves while the boy talks to the man who identifies himself as the producer of the films circulating on the networks. At the same time, they pass by a man who is a very good friend of the boy's father, so he hides, but Kelly talks to him and arranges a private service together, making the boy and the gentleman go through an extremely uncomfortable moment. In the morning, Matthew realizes that Danielle and Kelly are loading their things into the car because they are going to Las Vegas for an event. The boy asks if she will return, but she answers no, explaining that since he knows everything about her, he doesn't look at her with the same eyes as before. Later, Matthew is sad with his friends, so he makes up his mind and the three of them leave on a trip to Las Vegas since the young man wants to try again with the girl. They arrive at the place and see Danielle modeling, so the boy tries to talk to her, but she just ignores him and leaves. The girl meets another producer who tells her she should leave her boss and work with him, but at that moment Kelly arrives and they have to leave. Matthew also approaches to talk to the young woman, although she ignored him again. This is where Kelly takes the boy somewhere else and scolds him, saying he doesn't like him putting ideas in the girl's head since she doesn't let her do her job well, so the young man has no choice but to resign after this. Matthew tells his friends that if something goes wrong, they should leave without him since he has a plan. While they sit and think, a girl arrives and they tell her that they are producers, so she quickly asks them to choose her for a movie. Her boyfriend, a muscular man, shows up upset because they were flirting, but she tells him that they are producers. Between the two of them, they ask the boys to choose her, and the man gives them permission to approach her so they can see that she is a good candidate. Sis does it and lets himself go, but just at that moment another man arrives and tells the boyfriend that they are high school students. The man gets upset and chases them furiously. They flee from the place while Matthew gives Danielle a piece of paper and tells her that she is much better than all this, then leaves. The young woman opens the page and realizes it is a drawing that she herself made for him when they went out together. The next day, Matthew notices that the girl comes to his room, apparently having given up her job to be with him. She takes him to school and they say goodbye, very much in love with each other. Later, Matthew is in the classroom, nervous about the speech he will give, when Kelly enters upset because thanks to him he lost his best girl. Kelly takes him to a secluded place where, after arguing for a while, he hits him in anger but then repents and gives him a pill to calm his pain. He tells Matthew that he will leave him and the girl alone as long as he helps him steal a trophy from his enemy, so he takes him to the man's house, saying that after that they will be even. After they separate, Kelly quickly leaves and calls the police to report a robbery in that house. At the same time, the boy finds the trophy but a parrot scares him while he takes the object and tries to leave, although he runs into Kelly's enemy, who runs away quickly while the boy tries to stop him. He manages to leave the house, but when he reaches the road, he notices that Kelly betrayed him and left in the car while he sees the police approaching. Fortunately, he hides quickly and calls his friends who end up rescuing him while passing by Danielle, who was going to accompany Matthew to his important speech. Once they arrive at the place, we see that the young man is still very affected by the pill Kelly gave him, since apparently it was something very strong for him, so he begins to do many crazy things that he normally wouldn't do. The boy's turn to give his speech comes, but because of how upset he is, he can't read well. So he talks openly about how sometimes you have to work hard to achieve the things you want, and that many times they seem impossible but they aren't, referring to Danielle. Everyone ends up applauding for such a wonderful speech, and later the director gives the results, but unfortunately they give the university scholarship to another boy, and Matthew was very sad. But Danielle supports him so that he doesn't feel bad. The next day, our protagonist goes to the bank to withdraw the scholarship money for the boy who will go to study at his school, but the lady tells him that someone has already withdrawn it in his name. He finds out that Kelly has stolen from him, so the boy goes with Danielle, who has a plan to help him get the money back. She convinces his friends to also be part of the plan, and they go to Kelly's enemy to whom he returns his trophy and explains everything, so they manage to reach an agreement with him. Then we see how Danielle invited two other of her friends, who are introduced to Elisha and Sis, so they go to the graduation party, the three friends with their three companions. Later we discover that Matthew convinced two other boys to appear in a movie, so they sign a contract with the young people, and then they were doing several takes of the video for the whole school while Matthew was at his dance with his girlfriend. However, a problem occurs when one of the boys who would do the final take got nervous and couldn't do it. Matthew's friend signs up and tells them that he will do it. Resuming filming, later we see the three couples leaving very happy since they have the film recorded, which they will sell to the other producer. Then they take their friends to the house with the other girls, and Matthew is left alone with Danielle, doing risk things in the limo they rented. In the morning, Eli calls him to tell him that someone stole his movie, and then Matthew enters the house to see that Kelly was meeting with his parents and director. Kelly tells everyone that he wants to talk first with the boy alone, so once they leave, he reveals that he has the movie. Kelly tells him that he will have to give him half the money or else he will show the movie to his parents. The boy sadly knew that he needed the money but told him to do whatever he wants because he won't give him a cent. Because of that, Kelly shows the video to the parents and the principal, who realize that Matthew made a teen education video starring two R-rated stars who politely explain how to take care of yourself with real examples. Thanks to this, parents and the director are surprised but at the same time excited since it is good material to support education. Shortly after, we see how this film became famous in all schools. Time passes and we see how Matthew managed to pay his own way through university with the royalties from the video and continues his courtship with Danielle, and this is how the movie ends. Thanks for watching this recap. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to comment below and tell me what movie or series you want me to recap next.